Lovely morning to you on this set, the set of a weekend deal. We're always poised to do something quite fantastic, but today we want to project into what makes all of us who we are. Call it politics, yes, because we are all political beings. The polity is being heated at the moment. In preparation for 2023, what is your game plan? Are you going to sell out your vote? Are you thinking about the quality of leader you want? They say the people deserve the leader they get, because whatever we produce, it's our own efforts. Let's join together to do it right this time around. That will be our trust for today's edition of Weekend, but I know the student man has a whole lot more in stock. I'm particularly looking forward to the women in politics angle.
Definitely, and some will call it, the race for 2023, and it's a season of declarations, really. And whatever we do, we must make sure that that process certainly see the emergence of a purposeful leader, somebody who knows on his onions, somebody who understands the economy, somebody who understands what it takes, what we need as a nation to move forward, because having that sustainable development in any society, it depends on the kind of leaders that we have leading.
Look at you when you mentioned someone who knows his onion. I had a particular conversation with a little person, less than 10 years, and the person says, what if a person doesn't cook? So
welcome to the studios of Weekend Deal. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. My name is Suleiman Bawajiao Usman.
And I'm Elizabeth.
Before the break, you actually said that you're contesting to be the first lady of your house. Are you thinking that maybe your husband, or should your husband have another wife so that we can have that election?
The thing is, you read newspapers and you couldn't pick out anything. There was this thing about consensus candidates. I'm a consensus candidate. No competition. Okay, let's...
All right. So, as usual, Francis, has done some research, and then is going to actually lay the foundation for what we are going to be talking about today, and that is the 2023 general elections, and of course the season of declarations and purposeful leadership. I'm sure it's something that you want to be a part of. Let's take this.
As the 2023 election draws closer, some Nigerians have declared their intentions to vie for various positions, and more still will declare their intentions as the days go by. What should Nigerians look out for in electing their leaders?
We shouldn't begrudge people who declare. Let everybody who wants to come forward. But you see, when you listen to this declaration, people who are coming forward, from the statements they make, you see that most of them are ridiculous. How can somebody say, I will address insecurity, I will address unemployment? How? Tell us how. We need to see the strategy. Many of the people who are declaring to be this and that are unfit for it. It's more like a show off. They will just want to show, I once contested for the office of president, or I once contested for this. It does not mean much. I wish that Nigerians will be able to think beyond religion, ethnicity, and face the facts. What should you really look out for? Look at the kind of training the guy has had over the years. Look at his pedigree, who are his friends. Where has he worked? Where you have worked matters, because we can be able to know your ability. You've worked under a system that is effective, must have impacted on you. Not somebody who just jumps out and said, I've been a businessman. You have been your own oga all your life, and you want to come and orga other people. No.
The premium on political power is so high that we are prone to take the most extreme measures in order to win and maintain political power. Expression of interest and nomination forms, for instance, are priced beyond the reach of many, and some politicians resort to desperate measures to mobilize funds, including sales of private estates and borrowing from commercial banks. They do this with the intention of recouping their funds if elected. Must one seek for loan to be elected if it is all about service to the people?
Many electors are interested in who will give them money. So that is a very dangerous trend. And many people who are contesting are ready for a do or die. It's a zero-sum game. They will bring the money, they're ready to buy their way, to do everything to make sure they get there. I remember somebody telling us that to get to the Senate, he has to sell his houses, do this and that. He did a lot of things to raise money. So it hasn't stopped. When it comes to election, choosing leaders, you develop your priorities. You don't make money a priority. But here, because people make money a priority, tell somebody you want to go for local government chairman or governor. They want to know how much, you must have money. And they want to eat breakfast, dinner, and lunch in your house. You bring a school teacher who is sponsored, or bring whosoever, who didn't have money, who was sponsored to come into power. He comes into power, he wants to acquire. He wants to acquire. He forgets where he's coming from. Then you bring a millionaire who has sold a lot of things. You think, oh, this man is wealthy. He's well off. He won't tamper with our resources. He comes. He becomes a buccaneer. He wants to acquire more and more. So yes, people sell their properties, they want to recoup it because people see it as business.
Democracy has been adjudged the world's most accepted system of government. So, the need for full participation by all and sundry cannot be overemphasized. But how many women have declared their intentions thus far? Why are women not maximizing their numerical strength for elective positions?
Women are not coming forward. Probably because they are not getting that background support they need. Many women will come out if their husband will be magnanimous to give them the support. Maybe we'll have more men being generous and magnanimous with such decisions. Maybe we would have seen more women.
As politicians seeking elective offices traverse the length and breadth of this country for support, what role should traditional rulers play?
Traditional rulers, most of them are products of a partisan process. So they are naturally partisan. A governor will recognize people he feels he knows, or people he knows people that knows them. So that infers some loyalty on the part of the beneficiary of that appointment. So how do you expect him? You see, when we talk traditional rulers, they should be fathers of the nation, people who should be able to counsel wisely. But yes, some of them still have a modicum of that, but very few of them. Many of them are interested in what comes into their pocket. They want to be part of the government in power so that they can also be influential, so that they can get favors from the government.
This is an interesting season as the race for 2023 election gets tougher. Weekend Deal today is captioned Season of Declaration and Purposeful Leadership in Nigeria. Weekend Deal!
All right, now you know where we are heading to. Our focus, you'll flow more with us. If you listened, and watched us take the newspapers, I'm sure you noticed that quite a lot of the stories were all about politics and politicking, especially in the domain of who is contesting. That is a trend now. Everybody is declaring. But who are these people declaring? Julieta, I know, took her time to package who the aspirants are from different parties, and she simply tags it Seasons of Declaration.
The 2023 general elections is on track to be held with about 18 registered political parties fielding candidates for various elective positions. Political parties are expected to hold primaries and resolve outstanding issues between Monday 4th April and Friday 3rd June 2022. For now, declaration of interest by some well-known Nigerians and others not so prominent to contest the general elections is currently on.
We need multiple candidates to come out so that we'll now see them, both men and women, understand, to look at their credibility and those that have mental capacity to handle various offices that will unite the country and to improve the country in terms of development economically and security-wise.
The competition promises to be fierce, even as the All Progressives Congress's 100 million naira for nomination and expression of interest form is already generating different reactions among Nigerians. At the time of putting together this report, some 32 aspirants have declared intentions to run for the presidency so far. For the APC, there are 9 contenders that we know of, including elder statesman Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, Governor of Ebonyi State Dave Umahi, Senator Orji Kalu, ex-Governor of Imo State Senator Rochas Okorocha, Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State, Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, former Senate President Ken Nnamani, Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State and former Governor Ibikunle Amosu of Ogun State are rumored to be joining the race after the Ramadan. Those who have purchased the PDP's 40 million naira nomination forms for the presidential ticket are former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Senate President Bukola Saraki, Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, Sokoto State Governor Aminu Waziru Tambuwa, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose, former Managing Director of FSB International Bank Dr. Mohammed Hayatuddin, as well as Ovation publisher Chief Dele Momodu.
I'm looking for a younger candidate that has the ability, that has the mental capacity, that can fix the economy, that can also fix the security, and also to unite the country.
Aside the 2 dominant political parties, others that have shown interest in other political parties include Kola Abiola of the People's Redemption Party (PRP), Musa Rabiu Kwankwaso of the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP), and many more. Despite some concessions and discounts for women to participate, about 6 female aspirants have joined the race for office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. First, let's introduce 102-year-old Madam Nonye Josephine Eze-Ayache, popularly known as Living Legend. She has declared her intention to contest the presidential election but has not decided under which party. Others are Khadija Okunu Lamidi of the Social Democratic Party SDP, Ibinabo Joy Dokubo from the All Progressives Congress APC, Patience Ndidiki under the People's Redemption Party PRP, Olivia Diana Teriela from People's Democratic Party PDP, and Angela Johnson of the All Progressive Grand Alliance APGA. More candidates, even from the lesser-known political parties, are still likely to declare for the presidency ahead of the June 3rd deadline of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
In other developed worlds, we have women as chancellors, as presidents, so Nigeria should not be exempted from such. So we have credible women around all over the country that can come out, but there are challenges.
For the 2023 Nigerian Senate election, all 109 seats in the Senate will be open sesame alongside the presidential and House of Representatives elections on 25th February 2023, as well as the House of Assembly of all 36 states of Nigeria on the 11th of March 2023. Elections will also be held for the governorships of 30 of the 36 states of the country. Research shows that many senators in the Ninth Assembly are aspiring for the office of the Chief Executive Officer of their respective states ahead of the 2023 general elections. Some have publicly declared their intention to run, while others are still consulting. Meanwhile, some state governors have directed political appointees contesting the 2023 general election to resign their appointments in line with Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act as amended 2022, but some notable contestants for the 2023 presidential ticket currently holding public offices are yet to resign their positions.
Well, very interesting names in those lists. And then, there's still some gray areas in the electoral amended, the amended Electoral amended. How is that called again? Anyway, we have a whole lot of people who are still consulting, still want to, declare their intention to run for the #1 city in the country. And of course, you are also part of this conversation. You can send in your messages. We get to share it with the rest of the viewer. And we also want to know, yes, people are coming out to contest. How well do you know these people? Are you considering their track record? Is it because you are related to them? Is it because, of their philosophy or ideology? Exactly what do you know about these people who are seeking for your vote? Let's guide us in this next report.
Nigeria is endowed with human and natural resources across the length and breadth of the nation. As 2023 gathers momentum, with various individuals aspiring for various positions across party lines, the electorates will be saddled to make some hard choices on who among the various aspirants to choose from. A nation stands sure and strong because it's been led by leaders with foresight, which the people have entrusted their destinies on as capable, honest, and selfless to drive its affairs.
The leadership is supposed to come through a process whereby the leader is assessed, is screened, and is confirmed to be somebody that will be equal to the task.
We need a leader, irrespective of where he comes from, that can inspire people to get up and begin to be the best version of themselves. Now what we have is that people are suspicious of politicians because you hear a lot of promises, and at the end of it all, nothing is there. But if you come with that sincerity, people are not fools. Even kindergarten people, if a teacher goes before them and begins to deceive them, they will know. The moment you get out of the class, they will start mimicking you to show that they didn't believe what you were doing or saying.
When things begin to go bad, the masses tend to blame the government. But one wonders, what do the electorates look out for when choosing a leader? Is it based on primordial sentiments such as ethnicity, religion, or money? How well do the people know their leaders? What makes a good leader? Exactly what inspires these choices?
You cannot just bring in somebody simply because he has money, simply because he is opportune to have godfathers to come around this country thinking that things will work fine. It will not. What we need today in this country, we need a selfless leader. We need a leader that is up and doing. We need a leader that is energetic, that will come out and work. We don't need a leader that wanted just to be there to enjoy the siren. No.
People know the right thing, but sometimes they hide under ethnic cleavages, they hide under religious cleavages, sometimes they know that this man from our tribe is not the best, but it's our turn. So let's just vote for this man. They look at a far better person, but they will ignore that person because it's not of their ilk, it's not of their religion, it's not of their whatever cleavages that will throw up in this country that pull us back. And so people know, but they allow that in, and of course, what you refer to, which is inducement. They know that this man is a better person, but he's not a serious person. He's not bringing money. Politics is about money. If you throw up all of this, it means that we don't want to change. But we should change because let's face it. At the end of the day, everybody will be negatively impacted. Everybody, those who play that game and those who do the right thing, especially if those who play that game are in the majority. It means that they will throw up the leadership that we continue to cry about.
Electing a leader is a life-changing decision that could affect a nation in an unimaginable way, positively or negatively. Sadly, the negative effects are more.
I advise people, the issue of collecting 1,000 or 2,000 naira to vote, the issue of distributing rice and sugar or omo to the community to vote. I did not say don't collect, but you can collect, but as well make sure you choose the right person. It is not only in the secondary election that you choose. The earlier process is the most important.
People should begin to ask themselves, are we going to vote on the basis of inducement? What are we going to get? If somebody who's bringing truckloads of money would like to recoup that money at the end of it all, so he would like to get the money back. So he's not going to put the interest of the people at the front burner. That is what people should think about. It's about time. We can't be throwing up our hands saying, oh, what can we do? Or even if we vote them, so let me collect what I can collect. And, you are ensuring that the cycle continues. And it will really be sad.
Leadership is a serious business that must not be left to the hands of selfish individuals who lack integrity, vision, and capacity to rule. Choosing a leader must not be handled with levity. The aspirants must be interrogated on their electoral promises, and a detailed analysis of their pedigree must be carried out before choices are made.
Okay, it's still weekend deal, and I'm poised because I have a lady in the house who is going to be speaking on a whole lot of issues. She's one personality I always get delighted, with whenever I have opportunity of speaking with her because of a whole lot of things she's been doing. Best of them for me is the mentoring business for the young people, including the politicians, and she is High Chief Chetachi Nwogu Eton, and I know you're also the Treham of Hamland.
Yes.
And a whole lot of titles. In fact, I tried to count. I lost count when I got to 20, which is why you're called High Chief. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much.
And I'm wondering, as a person, you have been able to talk to a lot of people. You have been able to mentor a lot of people who are into politics today, while you are not a politician. How have you been able to move yourself with the women to ensure that we have very numerical strength in this country? How can we bring women to the fore?
We live in a country that I would say that regards women as second-class citizens, subordinates to men. So with education and trying to tell the women, listen, it's not about saying that a woman can do what a man can do. That's just words, but action as well. It's telling them, yes, you can. You can be a leader, and you can, if you're at home and you're a wife and you're a good mother and you're a good businesswoman and this and that, yes, why not? You can be good in politics as well.
We had this parade of a lot of aspirants, coming in, and the numbers are so much. And at the end of the day, we still have people, trying to still get to declare, as the paper said today. And Suleiman asked me if I have intention of declaring. I said yes. So don't ask me which zone or what, because I don't want competition. But all the same, what's your take on this large scale of people, vying for very single seats?
Yeah, because, they want change. They want to see the status quo. They want to see the affirmative action. They want to see everything change in Nigeria. So, if I have likes right now in politics, I'll be contesting, or I'll be doing my consultations right now as well.
It's not late, really.
She just told you if she wants to go into politics, she wouldn't continue to say. But obviously, she doesn't want to do that. But then, the one thing that puts me off, really, I don't know. I could be wrong, but probably because I don't have the money. But I see huge amounts of money. Look at one of the papers said somebody came, or a particular, or two people, APC and PDP, came under fire for the huge amount of money to pick up form. I don't know. Is it really that necessary? There must be a reason for it. What's your take?
You see, the reason is to discourage
people. And they still have more than 17.
Yeah, to discourage people from buying the form and contesting for the election. So they want to make it, possible for the 1% or the 5%. Now, if they can bring, the prices down or the payments of the forms down, a lot more people will buy. Maybe more women will try to contest for this political
post. The party representatives, are actually saying that yes, 100 million for declaration and expression of interest form for APC, 40 million for PDP, is actually, they don't really want to go to any governor, to say, come and sponsor the party. They want to use this, money being generated from the sales of this form to fund the party. And some are also saying that perhaps is to actually get the real contestant, the serious people, not for everybody.
So, Suleiman, does it mean that the serious people are the ones with the money? What happens to the youth?
Exactly. I mean, it's not the people that have the most money, have the best interest of the masses of the Nigerian population. You and I may have better chances of being good leaders.
Going back to the season of declaration, a lot of people have declared. A lot of us still have intent to do that, and I see a lot of our diasporan people coming in to contest and declare and contest. I don't know, some of our diasporans have not actually been very much in touch with the home front. I am not a politician, I'm not even a political science student, but I'm wondering how possible it is to rule from a distance.
It's very impossible. Before you can even declare or make your intentions known, you have to come down. You have to meet the people, like I said before, going back to the grassroots and knowing what the issues are and how to tackle it. You cannot rule from a distance.
Okay, nice to know. All right, let's have you speak to the youth before you go. The politics are coming up. A lot of them are wearing jackets upon jackets, ready to play toggery and collect money where possible. But you're a mother, I know, and very importantly, you are a youth lover. You speak to them a whole lot. Could you publicly now speak to them on how to conduct themselves during this period?
What they need to know, the youth need to know, is not about the money. It's not about the toggery. You have to think about your life after election. It's not about what you get before the election for you to vote someone in. It's about your life after those individuals are voted in. So it's about thinking about tomorrow, next tomorrow, by the next 4 years. So you collect the money, so what happens? You collect the money, you vote the wrong person in. It's the same cycle, continues all over again. So the youth must now decide on what to do. Listen, I know about being hungry, and if you're a hungry youth or you want to collect that money. But even if you collect the money, vote the right person in. Vote the right person that have your interest at heart.
So I can chop the money and still do the right thing.
Still do the right thing.
Well, that has been the advice always, because yes, you need the money, and if they bring you, it's a gift.
Thank
all right,
you.
take the money, but still work with your conscience and make sure that you vote the right person. And we really appreciate your input to this very important conversation. It's a conversation that we must continue to have even after the end of the show, and I'm sure you're very passionate about this, and keep on with the good work and mentoring young Nigerians to becoming who they want to become, to make this society a better place. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, and yes, we have been talking with Chief Dr. Chetachi Nwoga. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
All right, we go on a break, and after that we'll have more stories for you, and of course we have another guest that you find very interesting as well.
Okay, you must watch out for the first episode of the first season of the relaunch of Village Headmaster tomorrow. I am particularly excited. We'll all look forward to that game, that drama coming up on board. But then, away from that, we're still looking at, the elections next year and all the politicking going on. Do you know your leaders? What should you really be looking out for? It's important we know. And our guests who just finished will just try to educate us a little bit. But let's go join Ibadan to find out details of what they have put together on what you should look out for in a leader.
For any country to achieve its full potentials, the welfare of its citizenry should be taken as utmost priority, and this can be achieved through purposeful leadership. The main drive of purposeful leadership is to stay motivated when things get tough, so as to set and meet short and long-term goals. It is the determinant of development in any society, as it holds the greatest potential for being the source and driving spirit of any society, or potentials as the rallying point of the people's aspirations. The quest for purposeful leadership in Nigeria no doubt have driven many individuals into politics, with great promises made during electioneering campaign. As the 2023 general elections draw near, political atmosphere in Nigeria is charged with all sorts of activities and declarations by various people seeking electoral office in the coming elections. The call for political leaders to imbibe positive virtues and be dedicated in their contributions to the growth and development of the nation cannot be overemphasized. However, many believe that most of the aspirants vying for elective positions are not serious. How true is this claim?
Well, they are serious because they want to take position. They are serious on the mundane level. They are very serious. And a lot of them have gone to banks to borrow money. Some have gone to cooperative societies and thrift companies to buy. So that shows a kind of seriousness with them. But as far as Nigerians are concerned, these people are not a bit interested in the welfare of Nigerians. They are serious for their own interests. And that is why they could go ahead to go and borrow money to do this election.
Most of them are not serious. What do you mean by leader? There is not much drama attached to be a leader than someone who is ready to serve. How many of them are ready to serve presently with the present situation of the country? So if anybody wants to lead us in the country, he or she must be ready to serve our people.
Many also believe that some of the aspirants declaring for various positions are mainly doing so for personal reasons and not for the good of the nation and our people.
At a very general level, everybody declares for personal reasons because it must come, your declaration and ambition is a personal thing. Now, when you now come to the service they want to offer to the people, I see a lot of us, without being castigating anybody, because as an aspirant you have to look at the people that are vying with you and what drives them. They are here because of personal reasons, ego, or they think that it's time to get to one level in life, or they think it's an avenue to touch on the national cake. So a lot of our people are people that don't even live here. They come every 4 years. So 3 months to the election, they come. Some have even just only become party members in the last 1 year or so. You know, they have not been part of all the struggles we've been through in the party. They are not part of the community.
The best thing for us is, as electorate, to look for new people entirely.
What then should the electorate look out for when choosing a leader?
When choosing a leader, you must have identified him to be capable of holding that position he is vying for. One, he must be somebody of integrity. He must be somebody who is not full of deceit. He must be somebody who has experience in governance.
So what you look for in leaders is, number one, who is this person? What is his makeup? Is it, like you said, personal, selfish reasons? Has it demonstrated a selflessness to the people over the years? Do you know him? Has he lived within you? Does he know what you guys consider is important? What is important to you in your community? Now, on a personal level, has he distinguished himself in his career?
Electorate should look at somebody that has integrity. Integrity in the sense that somebody that if he says yes, he means yes, and he has not been in a corruptive way of one way or the other. He must be somebody that is trustworthy, reliable, at the same time, somebody who knows about this economy of the nation.
It is, however, opined that the electorate should carefully scrutinize, carry out background checks, and investigate the candidate they intend to support or vote for in the coming elections in 2023 so as to ensure good governance, proper representation, and development of the nation.
Well, proper development of the nation. Your messages are still coming in, and our next guest is actually seated with us. But we'll still do one other thing before we introduce him. And this next message says, "Good morning, my wonderful host." Thank you. Anyone who purchases the presidential ticket for 100 million naira may not do well. It means he or she purchased the position, so votes may not count. This one is coming from Lawrence from Port Harcourt. The next one says, it's better for a woman to be president rather than a man, because naturally men are stingy and greedy, but women are compassionate and easily touched by the ways of life in Nigeria, whether good or bad. My name is John Jacob from Abuja. I know Elizabeth is excited about that.
Yes, yes. You know, since we came here, my producer, who happens to be a man, refused to give me sweets. It took a woman to put a sweet on my plate. Thank you for bringing the sweets. And prohibiting costs is our next focus, but we'll do that from Enugu Network Center. Let's go.
Sequel to the signing into law of the amendment to the electoral bill by the President Muhammadu Buhari on Friday, February 25, 2022, the stage was set open for political gladiators to once again jostle for elective positions into various leadership offices.
I think myself I'm capable, and there was a question someone asked me. She said, do I feel threatened about my position? And the answer was no. I think I'm more courageous than threatened.
It was like the sounding off of the drum beats for war. All shades of political actors from various party lines have swung into action, presenting themselves and seeking to be elected or re-elected into one position or the other.
Stakeholders in my constituency came together and decided for strategic reasons that they want me back in the House of Assembly. So they called me, I informed them I was out of the country. Before I came back, I learned they visited other stakeholders who are not part of the project. They visited traditional rulers, religious leaders, and so on and so forth, captains of industries, technocrats, people in the academia, giving them reasons why I should be given another chance in the House of Assembly.
With the myriad of social and economic challenges facing the nation, it's only reasonable for one to hope for credible personalities with genuine intentions for the nation's growth and development to be voted into power.
That if I have another chance, I'm not going now to learn how I can attract things for my people. I already know them. I'm just going to start attracting things to them from my very first day back in the house.
How truly realistic is this, given the current dispensation where the political field doesn't seem to be level? The fear expressed by some sections of the society that the electoral process being fraught with many abnormalities cannot be wished away.
We are in a society where we have found ourselves, in a very big fix politically. You cannot do politics in Nigeria without money. People expect you to throw money around, and that is one of the ways or how they feel they know people who can do better in government. But unfortunately, that shouldn't be.
For a young and average Nigerian youth to be able to get that, they are still looking for what to do, trying to find their feet. It is on the high side.
They are given free of charge. It also means that the party may not even get some money to run the party. That's why they're making their money to run the party, logistics and so on, and conduct the elections.
The cost of nomination forms into certain offices and key positions, especially by the major contending political parties, leave much to be desired.
There should be a limit. The law should look at it so that it doesn't, make the rich to take it, because that is what we are having. The credible ones will not be able to afford it. Then the rich ones who are corrupt are the ones that can afford it. And once they do, they begin to share the money, share everything amongst themselves.
There seems to be more questions than answers, which forebodes the fact that a lot still needs to be done if Nigeria has to attain the rich potentialities it has as the biggest democracy in Africa.
We have some messages here just before we introduce our guest. This one say we need leaders who have resilience and interest to move our nation forward. This one is coming from Kinsley in Ambra. The next one says a good leader must be purposeful and corruption free. Barrister Bukoye Suraj Oyeleke from of Kwara State. The next one is coming from Benin State by Reverend Dan Izibili. He says, "Good morning. I heard that the salary of a president is in 4 years is 56 million. That is the total sum in 4 years. How true is it? How true is it? And why would parties sell their forms so high when the earning of a president is very low?" Now, let me introduce our guest to you. Of course, he's a teacher. I always like to refer to him as a teacher because that's what really he is. Whenever you listen to him, you always find a way to teach you a thing or two. He's Professor Nuhu Yakub. And if you know him, you will know that he's the former Vice Chancellor of University of Abuja. You're welcome to our studios, Prof.
Thank you, Suleiman.
Let's pick up from the sales of forms, nomination and declaration form and all of that. 100 million, 40 million, that is on the high side for a lot of people. Now, are we, monetizing all this process? And at the end of the day, we probably lose focus, even though the parties are claiming that the nomination, this money is for running the party and ensuring that they segregate those who are serious from those who are not. What are your thoughts?
Well, it appears as if the logic of the parties, is something to go along with. That is to discourage, as it were, those who are serious. Not even to discourage, to separate those who are serious and those who are unserious. But that is by the way. I think the point is that we have to look at the development over the years. I remember when I think it was in this republic, the sale of form was for presidential candidate was, in the neighborhood of 1 million naira. Okay, and people were still complaining then that it was too expensive, and now we're in a situation where virtually everything has changed. Economy, foreign exchange, and cost of living generally. So you can look at it from, the logic of what the parties are asking from the candidates, from the point of view of the state of the economy of the country, But again, why do the logical question that should also come from those who are worried about the expensive nature of this nomination or expression of interest fee is that it is really on the high side. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the figure that the commentator you just referred to stated, in the 4 years or 8 years of a president's tenure, all he goes home with is going to be about 56. You said 56?
Yeah. 4 years.
4 years. 46 or 56 million, naira. And yet, for the first 4 years that he has, because he's not sure of the second term, he ends up paying 100 million naira. The question is, what is this money meant for?
That's the question I want you to help us answer.
What is this money meant for? Is it for, really for discouraging those who are not serious, or that the administration of the party itself?
Mm-hmm. Because they say they don't want to go after governors come and sponsor the party for for the running course of the party.
Well, you see, I think what we have missed in the politics of this country, especially since the Second Republic, is the fact that people don't own the parties. Mm-hmm. I have looked at records of what happened during the First Republic. PRP in particular, NEPU in particular, had very adequate and accurate records. People who are members and how much they are paying as members. In Nigeria today, you ask how many people are actually paying, a membership fees.
That's a big question.
Yeah, how many people are paying membership fees? So probably the parties are thinking that the only way they can actually get money to run their affairs will be to, hike it as much as possible, so that whatever they rake in, it's going. Yeah, you can use it to run the party. I'm already seeing on the headlines, I think this weekend, parties, the two parties, APC and PDP, are thinking already of bringing in 1.7 billion naira. PDP rakes in already 646 million naira.
Now, talk to me about the people you have seen so far declaring their intention to run for the party. Do you think we are on, the right track, given the caliber of people that are vying for this, position?
You have to volunteer. In a democratic system, you have to actually express interest. So those who are expressing interest, it is by definition, those who have something to offer. Of course, it's a different thing when they get in, okay? But the point has to be stressed that you cannot, by whatever means, determine who is actually, competent, who is actually serious, who is, going to be able to deliver, services to the people until you actually give them the platform to compete. And that is what, people are coming to do now. It's about competition. And, as a teacher, I have a group of students in my class. They are competing for, what is it, the knowledge that they have gained, and on the basis of which, they will be asked, be given examination to write. When they write it, as a teacher, you have to assess their performance. So the point is that the high expenditure on getting the expression of interest form, to participate in this thing, it's not actually a way of determining who is going to be serious and who is not going to be serious.
Okay,
but that you have to have a basis of actually say, oh, these are the people who want to contest for the presidency of my party, of the country in my party.
All right, so let's pause a little bit on that and move to Port Harcourt. There is something that we can't really, remove our eyes from, and that's the role of traditional rulers in politics. We'll come back to you to speak on that, but let's see first from Port Harcourt the package put together.
Contemporarily, traditional rulers have a great influence in election and electioneering processes in the state. This is due to their advisory roles in electoral sensitization, citizenship education, and assurance of security of lives and property before, during, and after the elections.
The role of traditional rulers is advisory. Our own is to bless and pray the Almighty Father that whomever the Almighty Father has ordained to rule our country, Nigeria, to rule our state, to represent us in the House of Rep, Senate, and House of Assembly, should have the mind of service.
We do not support any party in particular, because all the participants, all the aspirants are our children. And as you know, as a father, you cannot take sides. You can't support one child and abandon the other child. So our doors are always open to all our children who, when they want to go out and participate in politics, would come to us and seek our blessing. Secondly, we also advise them that when they go, they should play a fair game. They should not go into any action that will take their opponent's life. They should not cause any breach of the peace. They should maintain peace and harmony, because at the end of the day, after the election, they all come back to the same place.
Traditional institutions in Nigeria has remained a strong political force to reckon with. They are indispensable for political transformation in the country. Little wonder, as politicians declare for various positions across both, their first point of call is the palace of traditional rulers. What then is the message?
It is always very sad when we hear that during the elections people are killed. No election should take anybody's life, not one, except they don't want to do that election. But once they have decided that they will do an election, part of what must happen is that they must guarantee peace and security of the electorate.
You see yourself as the servant of the people, a man that is put there to look after the welfare, the need of the entire area you are governing. Our appeal to them is that they should play the game according to the rule. They should not sponsor courtesan. They should not sponsor people that will go use gun to shoot and hijack ballot boxes. They should allow the will of the people to prevail.
To ensure peace, order, and stability in our society during the election and electioneering processes, the traditional institution should be a veritable instrument in democratic governance.
Okay, so we are listening to that and reacting to it in the studio. The Vice Chancellor, former Vice Chancellor of University of Abuja is still with us, Professor Yakub, and we're actually trying to munch on that, and I'll let you speak your mind on it. But I know generally, traditional rulers are our fathers, and they must love us equally. What's your take?
Well, I wrote a paper a long time ago, and I said, politicians always advise the traditional rulers they are non-party. They should not be they should be apolitical.
Okay. Yeah. Not just partisan. Apolitical.
Apolitical. Yes, not just partisan. And I said no, but the traditional stool is actually political.
Wow.
Oh yes, it's political. Because
how do you mean?
What I mean is, to get to that stool, there must competition, a contest, and because. Except, let me take the exception, which is that of Benin, where it is, on the rule of prime progenitor. That is the first child, male of the family, is automatically. So every other, contestant will have to, lie low when, the departing Oba, goes away. Okay? So you can say that, they have already, established a system that is, stable, is, understood, and is cultural. But let's take the example of the recent appointment of the Olubado of Ibadan. And also their own system, is so culturally based that you have to go through the lines of the Baloguns and, I have forgotten the other title of the other line. And they interchange this from one ruling line to another. And you have to start from the base.
Okay.
And you stay there. That's why at the end of the day, you discover that the Olubado is already in the late 60s and early 70s, because everybody is waiting for their turn. And if you survive up to the time it will come to your line, then you'll automatically be next. But apart from these two examples I can give from the Nigerian setting, you discover that usually there is contestation. And by the time they are contesting, it's either, the contestants will have to appeal to the local government chairman or the governor of the state that is going to, eventually appoint them. So it is political. I want everybody to understand that, the traditional rulers are, to use Aristotelian expression, political animals. Yes.
So, but what you subscribe to is the fact that they should play an advisory role to sensitize their, subjects on the need to get their voters card, to vote for the right persons, not taking side with any, an aspirant.
Well, I do not know to what extent, they are either hamstrung by their office or by tradition. But what is going to happen is that as a political animal, they will have interest. Okay. But what I think the politicians will always want to advise the traditional rulers not to do is to be openly partisan.
Yes.
That is what they ask them not to do. But you are a political animal, ab initio, and you have interest. So one way or the other, you discover that the traditional ruler has preference for one candidate or the other.
Okay, we have some messages here. This one says, I am Steve from Lagos State. Everything is biased. Even INEC is biased. Whoever can buy presidential ticket for 100 million, that person can also buy the favorite decision from INEC. He goes ahead to say, this country is ruled by the rich. I am 26. I have never wasted my time to vote because I believe it doesn't count. What are your thoughts? What should you be telling a person like this who doesn't really believe in the electoral process?
Yeah, well, I think you have to also look at the outcome of the electoral process. And I think this is the critical thing. It's not just that, you have to go and select a candidate by voting that candidate in, but what is the quality of service? Initially, I defined politics as service. What is the quality of the service that you eventually get from the politician? And that is the key point. So people actually, get, discouraged from coming out to actively participate or to discharge their civic responsibilities. I mean, you can, you can actually. This is opinion of an individual, but you can actually extrapolate and discover that it actually covers a lot of citizens in this country who are totally discouraged from actually coming out to carry out their own civic responsibilities. So I think therefore when people are showing a lack of interest, apathy, we have to now ask ourselves, what is this, the nature of our politics that is not encouraging people to come and vote for one candidate or the other, or to make a choice?
The first message talks about, youth, giving the younger person the opportunity to serve. And yes, it's free for all kind of, it's free for all. Yeah. Anybody can really, participate and contest for different positions. But some are saying that should age be an issue come 2023?
Age is already defined by the constitution, and we stay with it. But what people are talking about is that you don't have to get somebody up to 70 and above to start contesting for the presidency. If it is the presidency you are looking for, I mean, somebody of 18-year-old person cannot actually handle the responsibility of that office. So we must be very clear about this.
It's enormous.
So, age is already defined by the Constitution. If you like it to come down to 15 or 16, it's another thing entirely.
Right. Thank you very much, Professor, for coming. You're always one person that remains a teacher, even on our sets. You pay us for using our classroom. Our set
no, you have to pay me for. You have to pay me for being here to teach.
Professor, just say bye-bye to Nigerians.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I wish everybody a very happy weekend.
Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.